Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
We don't need gimmicks like giant checks and mascots to promote this year's football contest because we're giving away even more money than we did last year.
$16 million in guaranteed prizes to be exact. There's 2 ways to win and no rake.
Players in Circa Millions made 5 picks against the spread each week with quarterly and full season payouts.
Circa Survivor entries select one team each week with no point spread. Last the longest to win it all. Visit circasports.com for details.
It's the fall kickoff sale at Lithia Ford of Boise. It's the best time to trade in and trade up to a new Ford truck or SUV with the room to haul your payload or playload. Visit Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. Rowpaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Canned Cocktails is perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Now, here's 4-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, how we doing, Boise State fans? Happy Monday. It's a new week, and a new week here at Bronco Nation News. We're pumped, excited for what's going on with practice and games and all kinds of stuff getting closer and closer with every day, and always enjoy waking up on a Monday and getting a chance to kind of preview the week and see what's ahead. And every Monday is one Monday closer to that game week press conference and that first game week, and excited as always that as we do every morning here at 9 a.m. on Bronco Nation News Live to chat with you. And our Monday guest, the one and only there in the rowpaint.com studios at KTIK, is Mike Prater. Mike, happy Monday to you, sir. How we doing?
What's going on, BJ? You're right. It's perfect. It's the it's the right time of year to get fired up for some football. And I love the fact that you said it's one day closer to a game day press conference, a game week press conference. So a big full week of Boise State football. And I know we got a lot to talk about this week.
We do. You're there in the rowpaint.com studios. Our new studio sponsor at BNN is Western Collective. We'll be telling you more about that moving forward, but you can check out their new Horseshoe Golden Ale beer and donate a portion of that money is going towards the collective and what they got going on there with Joe Nickel and things. And so I'm excited about this partnership. We told you about it last week. Carrie came on the show. So Western Collective, our studio sponsor. And again, make sure you check out that Horseshoe Golden Ale. And I am super excited about this because if you missed it last week, hoping to get involved with the collective and Joe Nickel, and whether it be some away game watch parties or maybe get some interviews and things. We got some ideas up our sleeve to kind of partner and do some things to help push the collective. So excited to have Carrie and Western Collective on board. Make sure you check out their various locations out in Garden City or the one downtown that now has basically 3 different restaurants in one. So check them out there at Western Collective. Mike, fun first 4 days. They were outside on the grass, and then Sunday had to go inside to the indoor due to the fires. You knew that would crop up at some point, and sure enough, Sunday was the first morning. But today, weird kind of a 5:30 afternoon practice today. So they have the morning practice yesterday, then they essentially get an extra half a day. They won't practice till 5:30 tonight. This was supposed to be their first practice of fall camp on the blue, and then they'll be in shells again today, day off tomorrow, and then Wednesday morning will be that first full padded practice. That'll be fun to watch out there on Wednesday in full pads. But so far, 4 practices in, practice 5 today. Everything seems to be progressing as expected here for the football team.
Fingers crossed, no big injuries yet, and everything is getting better every single day in terms of the practice. So it's on par and exactly the way it's planned. I'm not sure if it was by design. I'm sure it is by design and not coincidence. But the Monday, they're going to practice Monday nights through the regular season, I believe. You probably know more about this. So trying to duplicate what they got going on during the regular season. We heard from media days where they're going to take Sundays off. They didn't take Sunday off yesterday, obviously, but then they're going to practice on Monday nights. So we'll do our show and we'll get out there after 6:30 and see you guys out there and do a little night practice. It's been a long time since I went to a Boise State football night practice, so it'll be kind of fun to see how it shakes out. And I'm curious as to what Spencer Danielson says about that. Have you heard anything? Is this exactly what they're trying to do, is duplicate what they're doing in the regular season?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Sometimes, probably so. Yeah, you're probably right on that. We haven't had a chance to talk to Spencer specifically about this. And sometimes with the scrimmages and things, they'll schedule them at times for the first couple of games and try to treat it like a game-like atmosphere. And maybe this will be what a typical Monday will be, an evening practice at 5:30. I mean, it'll still feel like day, I guess, for us for the most part. It won't be dark yet at 5:30, but the interviews at 8 o'clock will be a little strange, but it allows us to do some other things today and still have practice tonight. And then, as we said, tomorrow, luckily it'd be a quick turnaround. Luckily tomorrow's an off day as well. But I think they just want to mix it up. And as you know, just kind of do different practice at times, get different things on the body clock. And they've been pretty consistent in practice, waking up, having practice every morning. And now you change the schedule up a little bit and make them do something different. I don't think 5:30 is going to be perfect for the heat, though. They chose a hot portion of the day.
Yeah, no, that's going to be, and I'm sure that was part of the reason too. Two-a-days and triple-digit weather, they kind of go hand in hand. So that's par for the course there, and that's certainly part of the. I like what you said in terms of just mixing things up, and I'm very curious if they had like a wake-up call this morning, or if these dudes actually got to sleep in till 8, 9, 10 o'clock, because I think they've been getting up at 5, 6, 7, and being out on the practice field by 7, 8 in the morning, and certainly they tape and have breakfast and all that kind of stuff. So. Nice day for these guys and figure that out. It's probably, in a couple of weeks here, they're going to start class on Monday. So I'm assuming it's going to be more built in for class, Monday for class, that kind of thing. I would guess that that's part of Spencer Danielson's thinking on Mondays is, get the week started off right with class and then worry about that. And then we'll figure out practice afterwards. So it makes sense to me.
I had a photo on Saturday, Mike Prater. I took one photo from practice, and it got over 50,000 views. It was a photo of Spencer Danielson, or excuse me, the photo that I posted was of Jeremiah Dickey and Chris Peterson. Here's a photo that Boise State had. He was back again on Sunday. Spencer Danielson here chatting with Chris Peterson. Me and Johnny had a good chance, and of course, Prater, none of us were smart enough to ask Coach Pete for his number to get him on our shows, but me and Johnny did have a nice chat with Coach Pete. I'd say probably 5-10 minutes on the sideline at Saturday's practice, and it was really good to catch up with Coach Pete and talk about what he likes about the TV stuff that he's doing now, what he doesn't like, and we had a nice chat just about all things football with Coach Pete, and I really enjoyed that, and I am kicking myself that I didn't get a chance to go try to convince him to come back on our show at some point here, which we'll find a way to make happen. He's going to be around, it sounds like, a little more here during fall camp. But I tell you what, we've seen Chuck Pagano out at practice some as well. I mean, Dirk Cutter's obviously part of the coaching staff, but Chris Peterson, Pagano, some of these guys, like for a young coach in his first year as a head coach here, Mike Prater, it's pretty cool to have some of the resources that a Boise State coach has to be able to dial up on the phone or come watch practice and get their thoughts.
Yeah, and that starts at the top with those guys. I mean, are you kidding me? Chuck Pagano, Dirk Cutter, Chris Peterson. I mean, that's a pretty cool hardcore group. The three of them collectively would rather get a buddy and be on the golf course at this point in their careers, but they're still out here doing football. And I think it's really, really cool. And so much has been made about Chris Peterson and his mentorship program and all that kind of stuff. Pagano, still obviously lives here in Boise, still does the Thursday, I think it's Wednesday or Thursday with Pat McAfee, flies back to Indianapolis for 36 hours and does the gig there with Pat McAfee, but still lives here in Boise, still very much into football, still very tied into Dirk Cutter. And I did have a chance to talk to Pagano at practice the other day, and he kind of missed his golfing buddy, Dirk Cutter. They play a lot of golf in the summertime, but Dirk Cutter had shoulder surgery, so he hasn't played golf in 2 months, and Pagano was kind of missing his golf buddy, but it's football season. All three of them are knowing it and talking a lot of football. The 2 or 3 hours at practice is probably just kind of witnessing. I can't imagine the debriefing session after practice where they all kind of get together and talk a lot of ball.
And Coach Peterson too, like, yeah, he was chatting with us, and doing some things, but like for the majority of practice, he had like his hands on his knees and was watching these drills intently. Like Coach Pete still has that football coach in him in terms of watching a fall camp practice. And so I think that, it's pretty cool for Spencer Danielson to have those kind of resources. And yeah, if I'd have known I was going to have over 50,000 views on that, I would have slapped that Row Paint sponsor logo up in the corner or something on the photo. But over 50 something, I mean, Boise State fans love them some Chris Peterson and some Kellen Moore, Mike Prater.
And don't forget, at the time you posted the photo, Jeremiah Dickey's still the athletic director. So there's a little bit of that too. So it's good to see a visual sign of Jeremiah Dickey still being Boise State's athletic director, which I assume will continue for the long term, or at least, the next couple of years. Still in the process at Houston, but still very much a Bronco. And I expect good news here over these next couple of weeks, but we'll see about the timing of that. So very cool to see all those guys. And I saw that picture over the weekend. I was out of town for a couple of days over the weekend, but I jumped in, saw that picture, and brought a big old fat smile to my face, BJ. I liked it.
Yeah, and right as that picture was being taken, you can see they're kind of looking down. Jeremiah was introducing Chris Peterson to his kids. They had come to practice that day. A little more laid back on Saturdays and Sundays. Not as many athletic department staff kind of there. And then there's not as many media. Just a little Saturday and Sunday practices are a little more laid back, I think. But it was great to have Coach Pete out there. And Mike, 4 days in, I know there's been a lot of talk on the quarterbacks, and we're all trying to read into things and see things. I've really tried, as I said on your guys' show Friday, I'm really trying to not get ahead of myself personally with what I'm seeing from the quarterbacks. It's 2 days in, 3-4 days in now, and I'm just trying to let it play out a little bit before I get in my mind who that starter is going to be. And I know other folks are saying this guy's been way better this day and this day, and I know you've been watching body language and a lot of different stuff. Just generally, and with the quarterback situation, where are you right now in that race?
Well, having been to the first two practices, certainly didn't go to the practices over the weekend, but talking to people, and I went to social media. You guys didn't put too much out there on the quarterback. I'm assuming the quarterback is status quo, just like it was when it started. And I don't want to be one of those guys that said anybody's way better. If anybody's been, Maddox Madsen, I thought was more consistent. Malachi Nelson's probably had a couple of more highlight type of stuff. I think this race is still very much neck and neck. Still 51-49, however you want it. I'm not sure. The one question I wanted to ask you is about the weekend, because Spencer Danielson he informed us that Malachi Nelson would be getting some reps with the Blues, the number one starters. Maddox Madsen's been that guy for the first couple of days at practice. Did Malachi get any Blue reps this weekend, or is it still Maddox Madsen? And are we still looking at like a 41 or a 51-49 situation with the quarterbacks?
Well, I got to be honest with you, Mike. I saw about 3 more periods of practice this weekend than you did. We had my son's baseball tryouts. I did not make it to yesterday's practice. Saturday, I got there late, just with the way it worked, and I saw I think one like half of a team period. So I'd be a bad person, unfortunately, to ask you about that. I believe that was the plan, and I believe both guys did get some reps over the weekend as they kind of go back and forth. And again, today will be the third straight padded practice. They'll ramp it up a little bit, and then the first full padded practice is after the off day tomorrow on Wednesday. So I think that's going to start to be kind of telling. But it was one of those crazy weekends for a lot of us where we had kids baseball tryouts and stuff and at the exact same time. And so I was late on Saturday. Got that picture of Chris Peterson. That paid off, but then wasn't able to get down there in time for the practice portion of yesterday's practice. I got to ask you this, though, Mike. A lot of people are reading into Dirk Cutter's comments and like that Dirk Cutter wants Maddox Madsen to be the quarterback here. How do you – I mean, Dirk Cutter is obviously very high on Maddox Madsen. He is. I think he's also trying to just kind of temper the expectations a little bit with Malachi. But where are you in terms of Dirk Cutter and – where you think he thinks this quarterback race is and who you think he wants to eventually get this job, or is it a lot of people are reading into that it's going to be Maddox because of Dirk Cutter's comments?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. And just eliminate the word wants. And anybody who thinks that Dirk Cutter wants something, you guys are crazy, because Dirk Cutter doesn't want anything. He wants the best quarterback to win this job, and he doesn't play favorites. Guys, he's so beyond playing favorites. That's a ridiculous thought. Now, maybe that comes from things like I say a few things here and there, and other observers say a few things here and there. I think Maddox Madsen fits what Dirk Cutter wants: consistency, decision-making, taking care of the football, which has been an issue, and Dirk Cutter knows that. Those are some of the things, and right now, because it's early in Malachi's progress, I think Dirk Cutter probably would favor him because he's a better quarterback. Dirk Cutter, I think, came back and is the offensive coordinator at Boise State, and I'm going to put words in his mouth and speak for him. Whether I'm right or wrong, I'll let him kind of figure that out. But I think part of the reason why he came back was the intrigue of Malachi Nelson. Are you kidding me? A 5-star quarterback at my disposal, and I got to kind of take him from ground one and developing him into something special. There's no doubt that Dirk Cutter is driven by that, career-wise, competitive-wise, personally challenged-wise. This is a project that Dirk Cutter wants to sink his teeth into. But he also knows that Maddox Madsen is probably the safe bet right now, and he's just coaching 30 days at a time, 1 day at a time, 1 hour at a time, 1 play at a time, trying to find the best fit. He has no favorites, doesn't care about favorites. He doesn't care about me. He doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about the fans and the social media. He's just out there doing what he's supposed to be doing, telling these guys what to do, taking notes, and at the end of the day, 10 days before football starts, he's going to make a decision based on expertise and professionalism and nothing else. So I don't buy any of that whatsoever, but I think Maddox Madsen does suit Dirk Cutter's game, but he's very intrigued by Malachi's ceiling.
Don't say ceiling around Dirk Cutter. He didn't like when I brought that up to him.
I did. We brought that up to him too, and he laughed at us. So you're right. You're right.
Maybe that's why you went off on me more, because I was after you guys, and he goes, "All you media guys keep bringing up ceiling."
We did bring up the ceiling word.
It's Keaton says, I think Cutter is playing defense against the Malachi hype. He knows Nelson's recruitment hype and what the fans want. Cutter never came out and said he wanted Madsen to be the guy. He just wants the guy under center that's going to win.
Yes.
But I have seen people read into the fact that he has been very positive about Madsen when it comes to that. I know you mentioned, he's going to choose. How do you think Spencer Danielson plays into this? I mean, Dirk Cutter obviously came back for 1 year, and I'm curious what, someone's asking, we need someone to fill in. We have our intern Jaden was at both practices, and we have footage that we'll be showing here shortly. So BNN was at practice. Don't worry, Josh. But I don't know if we've really discussed this part of it, but in terms of, is this 100% Dirk Cutter's call? Obviously, obviously Spencer Danielson's the head coach. If he comes in and says this is the guy, then obviously that's going to be the guy. So how do you kind of, by the way, Mike Sanford should know that we're on a show right now. Why is he calling me? Come on, I thought you'd be watching, Mike. Come on, unless you're trying to dial in. But
I'm going to call him later when we do Sanford and Ball Talk. I'll give him a buzz right in the middle of those.
I'm going to call him about 10 straight times on his next show. Yes. But how do you think Spencer Danielson and what kind of power he's going to lean to the quarterback, offensive guru and a Dirk Cutter, and where the young head coach plays into this versus Cutter maybe only being here 1 year versus obviously the head coach ultimately in any decision has the final say. How do you just think Spencer Danielson plays in here and what he might want versus what Dirk Cutter wants?
Well, short term, I think that they probably meet every single day and kind of go over that. And Dirk Cutter certainly takes his quarterbacks into the quarterback room and goes over film and goes over practice and leaves and goes home at the end of the day with a pretty good idea of the progression that was made. And I would imagine him and Spencer have regular conversations, whether they're daily or not, I'm not sure. So there's daily briefings, regular briefings in terms of being caught up with that. I think at the end of the day, Dirk Cutter, the Friday before or wherever internally they decide that they want to make a decision, I think it'll be 50-50. Now Spencer's going to lean heavily on Dirk. Dirk is a respectful guy who believes in the hierarchy of coaching, and he's been very respectful of Spencer Danielson. Dirk Cutter's been coaching for 1,000 years. Spencer Danielson's been coaching for a couple hundred days. But if you listen to the body language of Dirk Cutter, it's always like, that's going to be Coach D's decision. That's going to be Spencer's decision. Ultimately, Spencer's going to have to decide. But I think they're probably going to sit in a room, whether Dirk brings in his Cooper, his sidekick, coaching sidekick with the quarterback room, or maybe a couple of other offensive coaches. And then Dirk and Spencer are going to have a conversation. I think it's 50-50. I think they're going to work in partnership with each other. Dirk's going to tell Spencer exactly what he thinks. Spencer's going to tell Dirk exactly how he responds. And I think they're going to come to a very mature professional a solution. And I think they're going to be on the same team. And I like what I see with these two guys working together.
And we've seen in the past decisions be made around here, whether they've admitted it or not. I mean, based on other factors. I mean, Hank Bachmeier coming back in 2019 to start the bowl game after Jalen Henderson had won them a championship was nothing more than them not wanting Hank Bachmeier to transfer. You see other things, whether it be with Taylon Green still being the starter, but not really starting. And what the whole point of that was probably to try, I don't know if they just were trying to not get him to transfer, but unfortunately with NIL, with transfer portal, with how easy it is for guys to go somewhere else, Mike Prater, that there are unfortunately other factors involved than just straight, sometimes at least who gives us the best chance to win this game. I believe that they're going to, in this situation, pick who they think 100% is the best chance. But when you have the 5 stars, when you have the hype of Malachi, at all, do you think anything else outside other than who gives them the best chance to win is going to come into the mind of Spencer Danielson here?
I don't think so in this particular case. I really don't. I can't see Maddox leaving right off the bat if there's a decision to be made. I can't see Malachi leaving when a decision is made right off the bat. Will there be decisions made later on in the season as the entire subplot of this season plays out? Absolutely. But I don't think they have to play that game. I think they're very comfortable where they are right now. They're trying to win a game on the 31st of August, and that's going to be their source of and why they make this decision. And then they're just going to play and piggyback off that all season long. So I don't see that as an issue. I think the media will make that an issue later in the season if this becomes a squirrely race, or if Maddox takes the starting reins and is all of a sudden beaten Georgia Southern, beaten Oregon, and this football team was like 5-0, or vice versa. So I think Malachi's here for the long haul. Malachi's here. If you listen to his dad, and you know his dad as well as anybody, if you listen to his dad, Malachi Nelson's in Boise for a couple of years to get ready for the NFL. And obviously starting this year is a big part of that. It's a big part of that. And we'll see, but I don't think that I don't think Malachi will bail at the end of September, at the end of August if the decision is bad, but maybe in November or December or January, we'll see how that plays out. But I don't think Coach will have to worry about that decision at all.
And just to sum up the quarterbacks before we move on, we both agree, or I think we both agree, just confirming that you do, that it's way too early for us to feel confident picking either guy, and that I truly believe this could still go either way.
Absolutely. I throw out 51-49 only because Maddox is starting right now and getting a majority of the 1 reps. And I can't wait to see tonight's practice. I can't wait to see how these rest of these practices develop and what kind of progression they've done in the quarterback spot. But yeah, this suck. There is no way ahead of anybody, way better practice than somebody. These guys have both had their ups and downs. It's a puncher's battle right now. It's a heavyweight fight. And I think the sucker is locked in and loaded with plenty of things to decide down the road.
Hey, I do want to give a quick shout out to Tim Brady, Idaho Youth Sports Commission. We were able, Mike Prater, recently to give a check for $10,000 to the Idaho Youth Sports Commission. I don't say this to kind of toot our own horn. I just have folks ask kind of where's the money go? What do you do with the money from the golf tournament? So I just want to flat out show folks that, we and to be 100% honest, we did not make $10,000 profit on the golf tournament. We added. It's just a round number, and we sweetened the pot with some money from BNN to make sure we got there. So $10,000 to the Idaho Youth Sports Commission. All of you, including RopePaint.com, ICCU, our title sponsors of the golf tournament, all of our other sponsors that sponsored holes, all of you guys that played. Idaho Youth Sports Commission is doing awesome stuff. They used our money from last year's tournament to purchase some sneakers for some underprivileged youth in the area, and they gave those out in conjunction with the teams at the Potato Bowl last year. And so it was pretty cool. I know they have some cool stuff in store for the money this year, but Mike, you've played in the tournament. You've been to the Idaho Youth Sports Commission dinner. Tim Brady and company are doing great work, and hopefully the $10,000 that all of our great BNN community here helped raise is going to go to a good cause.
I love this so much, BJ, and I think it's really cool that you do this. I love the fact that you got involved with Tim, and yeah, I've played in his tournament, been to his fundraiser, thanks to you, and I appreciate that. I've known Tim for a long time. This family, everybody knows the iconic Brady family around here. Heck, his wife was my daughter's grade school teacher, so I've been hanging out with the Bradys and begging for A's and B's and C's for a long time, and I love what they do. So nicely done, great partnership, 10 grand, 25 grand, almost 25 grand over 3 years is a spectacular number. I've run those golf tournaments before. You're lucky if you get a check for $800 left over at the end, and you're working your butt off for it. So I know you work your butt off for it, and you're not presenting $800 checks, $10,000 checks. BJ, that's very, very cool. And you found the perfect source to give it to, and Tim Brady and his group at Idaho Youth Sports Commission.
Well, thanks again to everybody, that all the sponsors, all the players, and we'll continue to try to. We've gone $5,000 the first year, I think $8,500 or something the second year. Now $10,000, so as you said, almost $25,000 in 3 years. Hopefully, we can continue to build on that every year and continue to help some of the underprivileged youth in the Treasure Valley. It's going to be really cool to see. All right, I want to get to some of Mike Prater's other storylines, talking points. I want to hear from Andrew Simpson, Jake Ripp as well, but I do want to thank a couple of our sponsors. Head down to Western Collective's location in Garden City or downtown. Try some of their delicious beers. Their beers, including the Horseshoe Golden Ale, are available at most major retailers in Idaho. And as we've been telling you, the Horseshoe Golden Ale, the first beer in the country to support an NIL collective, and a portion of the proceeds goes directly to Boise State student athletes. Both Spencer and Leon have drawn plays up specifically for the side of the can. You can get more information. Check it out, Western Collective and the Horseshoe Golden Ale. And we appreciate Carrie Pruitt and company for jumping on board as our new studio sponsor. RoePaint.com, our title sponsor, ROEPaint.com. All your painting needs, whether it's interior, exterior, residential painting, commercial, industrial, or, of course, their world-famous concrete coatings. Can't wait to get that done on our new patio here at our new house. They've already done the garage. I was so happy. It's one of the old owner of the home had them out, and they had done the garage. So excited about what they're doing. And again, just transform that ugly looking concrete slab in one day with the concrete coatings from RoePaint.com, whether it's your back patio, your garage, your basement. Check them out and get more information, ROEPaint.com. Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. Tyson Degenhart, one of their big NIL deals, will be having the Tyson Degenhart Show again twice a month all the way through the rest of the year here. We're excited to continue to have that, and we're excited and thankful for ICCU. I just saw Mike Prater, Idaho State's arena, right? The ICCU Dome is now the new signage is up there in Pocatello. They've got naming rights to pretty much a lot of the stadiums and arenas in the state of Idaho. High school arenas are doing great work. So ICCU.com, Idaho Central Credit Union. There's a branch pretty much in every corner, but as we've been telling you, the easiest is that mobile e-branch online banking. Check them out, ICCU.com. Bauscher Real Estate, #1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. Let me tell you, I found out firsthand why that is the case. Helped us buy our home, helped us sell our home, and maximized top dollar for us on the sale, got us as many credits and things as he could when we were buying. Again, BauscherRealEstate.com, Cade, Sarah, the whole crew, they were just so thankful. Kelly, Matt, we're just very thankful for everybody at Bauscher Real Estate, and it was a very enjoyable process. Check them out, 243-8222, BauscherRealEstate.com. And, of course, Ridley's Family Markets. If you're heading up to McCall, heading out of town, make sure you check out the McCall location there, Ridley's Family Markets. Get your ice, your meat, all your goodies for your camp out. And, again, they've got that Kuna location. They've got some over in the Magic Valley, all around the state of Idaho, 13, I believe, maybe 14 now at Ridley's Family Markets. Download that Skip app. Get savings up to 40% off the checkout line. Get more information. Find a location near you at shopridleys.com. All right, Mike Prater, there, believe it or not, there are, another 107 players out there on the football team that are practicing and going through drills and things here as we try to find a starting quarterback. Any other early storylines that stand out to you?
No, I mean, the offensive line looks pretty steady right now, and I've been trying to keep a track on those guys in the depth, and I like some of the rotation that they're putting in there, and the offensive line is looking pretty darn good for me. I mean, I know the obvious, and you and Johnny and myself and Jay and the whole crew have been just wow at the wide receiver room. I can't wait to see how this thing plays out. It's almost like an embarrassment of riches, and I can't visualize somebody being a superstar. But as a collective group, that wide receiver room might be one of the more dominant in college football if they can pan out. And then Ty Benefield in the back half, 3 interceptions in the first 2 days, just a ball hawk, a playmaker all over the place. Just exactly what Boise State's defense need. I don't know what the interception ratio was on Saturday and Sunday. I know you and Johnny were out there just a little bit here, a little bit there, and I'll have to check with Johnny on that. But they probably didn't have 8 interceptions over the weekend like they did the first 2 practices. I think that's a good thing. That's a bad thing. And Ty Benefield right now is taking advantage of that. So those are some of the things that I've noticed right off the bat.
I keep trying to kind of temper my thoughts on the receivers, but every practice I go and there's another guy stepping up, Mike Prater. I mean, it almost seems too good to be true with these receivers. And I know we do get a little jaded when that's the team we cover and we're not looking at the depth chart of the receivers around the Mountain West and around the country, whatever. But when you see some of the catches some of these guys are making, you look at the potential and you look at a guy like Caples and what he did 2 years ago, and you look at the past of a Camper and a Marshall, and then you look at what we think Prince Strawn and Austin Bolt are going to do. And even a guy like Chase Penry, I think if you had to put him out there to make a catch, you'd feel okay about that. I mean, I'm really trying to not overhype the receivers, but if they can get a quarterback that can throw them the ball, like, I mean, especially standing next to Prince Strawn and just watching his size and some of the things he can do, like he just looks like an NFL type receiver. That is for me one of my early overreactions that I'm trying to not hype up too much, but it really does seem like this receiver group could be something special.
I would agree with that. And there's a lot of talk about Chris Marshall and Cam Camper and these two mysterious new additions with uber talent and great background, great resumes, lots of hype right there. So if they could just get one of those guys to click, and both of them have had their ups and downs since they got here. Cam Camper didn't do much in the spring and hasn't really stood out an awful lot in fall camp, at least for me yet so far. Chris Marshall has stood out several times, but Chris Marshall has also disappeared a couple of times at practice where he just kind of goes into this dark hole. And again, it's a young kid still trying to figure things out. So the consistency is what's important, and we'll see how that plays out. But the talent, the raw potential, the highlight stuff, it's spectacular to watch right now. And when we put it on the blue, put it on a visiting football field in the fall, I cannot wait to see how these guys do.
You mentioned the O-line. I'm actually talking to Ben Dooley after practice today. I believe Roger Carrion as well. I did put in for Hall Schmidt, but I guess as that right tackle battle goes on, they're not making him quite available quite yet. Also this week we are going to get Cam Camper, I believe. Not sure on Chris Marshall, but they're starting to make some of those guys available. And then I believe the quarterbacks and/or Ashton Genty at some point later this week may do a big group interview. We'll just see. But we were told at least through Monday. So I did see Cam Camper on the list for today for a couple of guys. So we're going to start to talk to some more of them. But what do you make of the linebacker spot? I want to hear from Jake Ripp here in a minute. Young guy that's coming in, earning some playing time. Obviously, Andrew Simpson is kind of the returning guy that we're all talking about Ahmed Hassanin and how does he follow up what he did last year. I'm very curious about a guy like Andrew Simpson as well, to do what he did, to have the 16 tackles for loss or whatever it was as a linebacker. The way they are moving him around, he's certainly going to be higher up on opposing teams' scouting reports now as well. So what do you make of what you've seen from that group? No, Triani is healthy, and I think he's proven that when he's been healthy, he's been a guy that's done some things out there as well. Martin, I know that they like, has done some things. Where are you with the linebackers?
Well, first of all, Marco Notriani, the fact that he's back and healthy, and Johnny and I had a chance to talk to him one-on-one the other day, and that was so stinking cool because I've kind of chronicled my feelings about Marco Notriani from spring camp, where I thought at times he struggled to walk, and I was really worried about him. And the rise of Jake Ripp coming out of spring and the way that coaches talked about him, I loved to watch Marco Notriani play football last year, and Boise State fans fell in love with this guy, and he's needed, and he's really needed. And the fact that he's out there making plays, he's already gotten one of those interceptions. I think it was even a pick six off Malachi Nelson in those first 2 days. He looks healthy. He looks motivated. He sounds motivated. He was fired up and excited. So Marco Notriani coming back to me is one of the bigger, more positive, important storylines of fall camp, period, across this entire football team. Haven't really seen much of Jake Ripp since Marco has been back out there, but he's the dependable backup behind Marco. And I just think Andrew Simpson's automatic robo guy. I think he's going to be so stinking good. I can't wait to see how they unleash him, put him all over the field. You can rush that guy. You can put him on the edge. You can put him in the back. He can be in charge of coverage. He can be in charge of run. He can do all kinds of things. He's such a great playmaker. And I think he's so businesslike and so motivated and so driven that Andrew Simpson's going to have a fantastic year. If they need Jake Ripp, I think this linebacker room can be one of the most dominant, deepest linebacker rooms that Boise State's had in a while. They've had great individual linebackers and a couple of others here and there, but if all three of these guys play at the level that coaches talk about, that's going to be fantastic.
Well, I want to hear from Jake Ripp. I do want to mention there's been multiple comments about Chris Marshall, and I'm not dodging the question. We already said we weren't at practice yesterday, so I don't know if Chris Marshall was out there or not. I guess some people saying maybe he was out injured yesterday. I don't know. I'm not dodging the question, hiding stuff for the program. I don't know. I wasn't at practice yesterday. I made that clear. Had my son's baseball tryout. So 10 of you can keep asking. We don't have an answer on Chris Marshall, so we'll get it to you when we can. Yeah,
and I can't speak for yesterday either, but and we're supposed to. We have to be careful about what we can say. That's why I said Chris Marshall, at least through the first 2 days, his presence at practice has been inconsistent. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, that's fair way to say it. Let's hear briefly. The full interview is up on the BNN YouTube channel, but I wanted to play a minute or two here. Here is my one-on-one conversation, at least the first part of it, with Boise State linebacker Jake Ripp.
It's been awesome. I feel a lot better than last year. I feel definitely more physical and able to defeat blocks, and I'd say faster too. Just sometimes I'm feeling tired, so I got to get back in that football shape, But yeah, it's been awesome. Yeah.
What just even having last season, but having the spring too to get all those reps. I mean, how much more comfortable, how much faster are you able to play out there?
I think my football intelligence has increased dramatically, and I fully understand what the full defense is doing, I'd say, and that's makes me capable to go play at full speed and make plays wherever. Yeah.
How much more fun is it too?
It's definitely more fun. Yeah, especially when you're getting starting reps a little bit. And I'd say it's definitely more fun.
I know part of it was if guys were out injured, whatever, you've been in the spring or whatever. But what have you done the last year or whatever to kind of put yourself in this position to be getting a chance for some real playing time here?
I think just it was about getting my mind and body right. Working with Coach Hogart doing extra work after the lifts and stuff, and then also trying to get extra film and just trying to work as hard as I can to increase my chance of playing.
What do you think you bring to the table? What's if you're hyping yourself up in terms of what you bring to this team? What would you just say?
I'd say I'm a sideline-to-sideline linebacker. I could run and make plays in space, and I can make plays with my length because I'm a kind of lanky, tall guy. So I'd say that's my special ability, I guess.
I know everything has to play out, but you mentioned you're getting some starter reps in practice. it looks like you're obviously, whether you start or, rotate and have a key role. How exciting is that, I guess? You played football your whole life to maybe finally get a chance to make a real impact on this team.
Yeah, it's super exciting. I'm just trying to compete with, my other linebacker teammates every day, but, it's definitely so exciting that I have a chance to do that, and I could play in front of thousands of people on the Blue or other great places like Oregon and Notre Dame next year. So, I'm excited for it.
And I will say this, Mike Prater, that's a guy that I interviewed when he was a high school senior that had just committed. We did a little signing day show a couple years ago on BNN, and he was on there, and he has added almost 40 pounds. He looks like a totally new guy, man. You get these kids, and that's a lot of what recruiting is, projecting them and knowing that you can get them in a weight training situation and add weight to them. But he looks like just sitting there a totally different guy than the stick figure I interviewed when he committed. And he has certainly put in the effort and put in the time in getting his body right. And he's now put himself in position where whether he starts or not, he's going to be a guy that sees the field.
I'm about to say the dumbest thing that I may have ever said, and that's a long, long list of dumb things, but I don't know, man. I get a Leighton Vander Esch vibe when I see him talk and hear him talk, and kind of looking at his career and just the way he's developing and kind of coming out of nowhere, the way he's developing his mind, the way he's developing his body, the way he's developing his football savviness, and just all that kind of stuff. When you can get just a small little kid and just let him grow and water him for 4 or 5 years and watch him explode, I love that. And I'm starting to see that with Jake Ripp. And you can kind of go back and listen to the way Leighton Vander Esch emerged and how coaches early on started talking about this kid in spring camp and fall camp. And next thing you know, he's making plays. Next thing you know, he's starting. Next thing you know, he's all conference. And next thing you know, he's in the NFL. I'm not sitting here going to tell you that Jake Ripp's going to the NFL. He's got 2 or 3 years to get his football right at Boise State. But I'm getting a little bit of a Leighton Vander Esch vibe, and that kind of excites me, BJ.
Hey, new sponsor we welcomed last week. Want to thank them, welcome them again. Snake River Pool and Spa. So super excited and happy. We just purchased our spa from them, and super excited with the way it's going so far. Our Flash Hot Springs spa and our from the Limelight collection, and we're loving it. We'll tell you more about it moving forward. But if you're looking for in Twin Falls, Boise, Meridian, Nampa, if you're looking for a new spa, you're looking for whether it be a pool table, all the different things they have, Snake River Pool and Spa, patio and game. Check them out, thespateam.com, and they're part of the Boise State home team family. So return the favor. And as it gets fall and the weather starts eventually here to cool down, perfect time to think about a spa from Snake River Pool and Spa. Lithia Ford of Boise, you see Jonah Dalmas there, the fall kickoff sale. And again, they've got NIL deals with 6 student athletes, 4 football players. If you're looking to, go and buy that next car or truck, you need to be going to the spot and supporting the spot that is supporting Boise State athletics, maybe as big, if not bigger than any other sponsor out there. So return the favor. Lithia Ford of Boise, check them out. And again, the fall kickoff sale is going on. You can view that full inventory of vehicles at LithiaFordBoise.com. Taco Bell, TacoBellWorks.com. We appreciate Stan Nicolason, the Nicolason family, SON Management Group. They are hiring, so if you need a job, check out Taco Bell, TacoBellWorks.com. You get great promotional opportunities and benefits and free food while you work and half your wages the very next day after your shift. So check them out, TacoBellWorks.com. The Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorangestore.com. They got those new jerseys. They got the NIL shirts, the Heisman shirts. As you get ready for the season now, the color schemes are out, so make sure you get into the Blue and Orange Store and get your new gear for the season. Hopefully you're going a size smaller after a good summer. If you're me, you may be going a size up at this point as you got to try to get back in shape here, Mike Prater, with our lean feast. But the Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorangestore.com. Check them out, all your new Boise State gear at the Blue and Orange Store. And, of course, if you're looking for a new job, transportation compliance service, they can get you into the trucking industry, all the permits and things you need. Check them out, transcompservice.com. They're a national company based right here in Meridian. So if you've never thought of the trucking industry, maybe you should. Check them out at TCS, Transportation Compliance Service. And I mentioned Lean Feast a week ago. Seems like forever ago, Mike. We were out there at Lean Feast last Monday doing the show. LeanFeastMeridian.com, all the healthy eating options they have there. I'm going to pop one in the microwave right after the show here. So looking forward to our getting some more Lean Feast. And obviously, again, they'll deliver anywhere in the Treasure Valley now, so no excuse. They're feeding the football team after practice. They're feeding the basketball team, and it's a very affordable meals and very healthy options. I highly recommend the folks out at Lean Feast. Check them out again, leanfeastmeridian.com. And Mike, I do want to throw in 2 weeks from Wednesday, I guess it is, or Thursday, we'll be heading down. The BNN crew will be at Circa Resort and Casino for the contest weekend. I'm still trying to get Johnny. I got to talk Johnny into it. I know Mike Prater is smartly refrained from gambling of late, but I'm trying to see if we can get Johnny involved in at least, maybe split one of these Circa contests. It makes waking up on a Sunday so much fun. And if you're interested in the Circa contest, we'd love to have you join us in Vegas. I know Connor Johnstone, some other folks are going to, the Draper family, but if not, we can sign you up down there. And that's 2 weeks from Thursday. We'll be doing our 2 shows down there Thursday and Friday of week 0 at Circa Resort and Casino. And then I know, Prater, we're hoping to make it work to get the whole crew down there for the football game in October. And they've got some cool deals and packages going on that we're putting together for that as well. So you can get round trip airfare, 2 nights hotel, pregame party, all kinds of stuff. So our friends at Circa are they want to continue their relationship with Boise State, and they're stepping it up. And I don't know if I should even mention this, Mike Prater, but there may be conversations, there may be initial talks about the Circa private jet making it up for a football game this year with Mr. Stevens coming down on the blue.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. He's a good ambassador. I know he loves Boise, and when we see him at Circa, he calls us the Boise boys, and that'd be cool to get him up here and watch a football game. I know he's a busy guy, huge sports guy. All sports, man, and he's got all kinds of fingers and all kinds of pies down there. But Derek's always been good to us and good to you and good to Boise State football. So let's keep that sucker going.
Nate, I know you were asking about the Statesboro game. Yes, I'll be going to Statesboro, and I believe I'll be staying in Savannah as well. I was told there's not a lot of things going on in Statesboro. So, yes, we'll be going and staying in Savannah, and we'll tell you more about that. And I know a lot of folks were asking about the Oregon game as well, maybe the night before, getting together for some sort of happy hour thing. We'll see if we can find a way to maybe make that happen. But, Mike, final thing as we kind of turn this forward here, we mentioned practice tonight. I think I'll be spirited after the extra kind of half a day off today, and then the day off tomorrow, and then full pads on Wednesday as they move forward here. I know we're going to continue to follow this quarterback battle. That's going to be battle number one. But where else in terms of for you, are you going to be continuing to look and maybe turn your focus for a couple days here this week? What else is going to be on Mike Prater's checklist here when he goes out to practice?
Well, I'm going to be fine tuning some stuff because, as you know, and the one thing we haven't mentioned is Saturday is the first scrimmage of this Boise State football camp. So I think everything that they do this week is geared up toward that scrimmage. We won't be able to attend that scrimmage, but I believe there's some media access afterwards where we can grill them with all kinds of questions. I think we're going to know a lot more about this football team by Saturday night. I really, truly do. And we'll see I don't know what the coaching emphasis is. Maybe we'll get a chance to talk to Spencer on Thursday or Friday before the scrimmage and kind of look where their emphasis is. He's going to want all 22 guys and blah, 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 blah like that. So we'll take a look at that. The fact that there's going to be a little bit more contact, a little bit more physicality out there, beating up on each other just a little bit, putting on those shells, putting on those pads and getting after it. So I think the intensity this week is going to ramp up really, really hard. I would expect there'll be some bumps and some bruises, and through the peripheral vision, we'll keep an eye on the medical tent as well. But so far, so good in that front. I don't think there's anything serious with Boise State. So more physicalness, more storylines, and certainly Saturday's scrimmage. I cannot wait to see how that plays out.
And I know you guys are about 14 minutes away from having your kind of pre-show meeting for today, so you're still planning the show out. But I know I saw Johnny there getting some one-on-one interviews from over the weekend, so I know you'll have plenty of Boise State interviews and sound and football talk here on today's show.
Yeah, lots of Boise State stuff. Johnny, who was at practice all weekend long, will certainly catch us up. We'll hear some stuff as well, some sound, and just kind of catching up for the weekend. We're going to talk a little Boise State Olympics. We're going to talk about all different kinds of things. So we're fired up. It's that kind of year. It's that time of year, and we're ready for it, BJ.
3 to 6 today, Idaho Sports Talk. Again, that'll be 1350 AM, 95.3 FM. You can listen on their KTIK app, KTIK.com. You can listen to the podcast version on the Apple Podcast app there afterwards if you missed the show. So lots of ways. And again, you get us at 9 a.m. You get Idaho Sports Talk at 3 o'clock. Throw Jay Tuss on the 10 o'clock news, and you got all you need for your Boise State coverage there. So appreciate you guys for checking us out. As always, we've surpassed 5,000 YouTube subscribers. So if you can jump on YouTube and add your name to that, we would love to get over 6,000 is our next goal, but we'll start with 5,100, I guess. We're at like 50, 53 or something. And Mike, we've added about 15 paid subscribers since Wednesday's first practice too. So we're approaching 950. I think we're up to 948 paid subscribers. I would love to get over 1,000 paid subscribers during football season here. But if you want to read Mike's weekly columns, any insight on the next column yet? Do you want to tease people or not, or make them wait?
Yeah, I got 3 or 4 ideas that I'm working on. So that's the cop-out Monday answer. How's that?
That works. But make sure you subscribe, BroncoNationNews.com. Might read my columns, read my daily observations. A lot of stuff is going to be behind the paywall this year to reward our subscribers. So please subscribe if you can. $50 full year BNN 50 deal. That promo code at the bottom of the screen. And as I said, the YouTube subscription is free, and you can at least watch these morning shows if you're unable to pay to subscribe. So appreciate you guys. Thanks to JP for helping get us on here. Thanks to Prater. And again, make sure you're listening 3 to 6. They'll have you covered. All kinds of Boise State coverage today. And then a 5:30 practice, an afternoon practice. So be checking the Twitter tweets later today for some evening highlights and things like that. We'll be out there at practice at 5:30, and then right when they get off the air, I know Johnny and Prater will hurry over, and we'll have all kinds of coverage tonight after practice. So appreciate it, guys. Listen to them at 3 o'clock. We'll talk to you with Jay Tuss at 9 a.m. tomorrow. We'll have some interviews posted after practice tonight. And again, from the Western Collective Studios here in Meridian, we appreciate you. Our title sponsor, rowpaint.com. Check them out. All those painting needs. We'll talk to you guys later. Bronco Nation News Live here at bronconationnews.com.